Hi, welcome to Days in the Wild, brought to you by Van Chevrolet and the Chevy Silverado. This week, we're going to be hunting in my home state of Arizona for Coues deer. I got lucky enough to draw a late season rifle tag, and we're going to be hunting close to the border of Mexico for, some giant bucks. So I drew this tag with my good buddy Gasper Bruno and my cousin Paul, and we decided we were going to hunt the first few days before Christmas, and if we couldn't get it done, we were going to come back after Christmas. Well, it's the first morning. We just got here. The sun's just starting to come up. It's raining, overcast. I'm hoping it'll be a good morning, and I hope the rain will, be at bay for a little while here. We could actually get some glassing done. But shot my first deer out of this canyon 15 years ago. My first Coues deer, and actually haven't hunted here quite some time during rifle season. So I'm hoping it'll be good, and I'm excited to get back in the woods. Soon to both those, because the one in the back looks like a fawn. That first morning we got out, despite the rain, we were managed to pick up a pretty good buck. It was about a 90-inch buck. He's probably like a 90-incher. We decided to get in a little bit closer to see if we can get a shot opportunity at him, or at least get a better look at him. Well, this buck was on the move. He was after a couple does, and we kept trying to shadow him and close the distance. He was moving from left to right on the ridge, and we were watching him from across the canyon, basically, and we were kind of skirting him and trying to close the distance.
How am I still 620 yards?
Well, we got to about 600 yards of him, and I felt like it might give us a shot. So we set up on him right there, and he fed down below us, and he ended up about 590 yards from us, and we set up to take a shot at him.
Oh, I got him.
Is that him walking across?
He's far to the left. Yeah. He's blood side.
For all things hunting, discounts, tips and tactics, plus the best in hunting TV, 24/7 in HD, the Hunting Channel online.
Oh God, yeah, I got Well, I really had it in my head this year that I wanted to get a 100-inch buck or above a 100-inch buck, and you know, it was the first day. I didn't want to shoot this buck. We had him, you know, we had him in there. We got him within 590 yards in a real makeable situation. We just let him go. Gasper doesn't feel comfortable shooting out that far, and there really was no way of getting him closer. So we just decided to let him go and hopefully put him to bed somewhere that we can make a move on him for Gasper to shoot. Well, the next day or two, really, we didn't turn up anything that was something that we want to shoot. We saw, you know, a couple little bucks.
There's a guy running a lion in the canyon that we're glassing right now. Just my luck. All the deer are blowing out of here.
Shot. It was getting a little frustrating because the rut didn't seem to have kicked in yet. We saw lots and lots and lots of does, big groups of does, and when we had really cold weather, everything seemed to be right, but for some reason the bucks weren't with the does. Well, the fourth morning we got out there and we went back into the Rancher's Canyon. That's the place that I was introduced to Coues deer hunting by my good friends Doug and Howard Spicer. I felt very nostalgic that I might actually get my 100-inch buck in a place where I started hunting Coues deer. Well, we got back into this spot where I knew really well, and right off the bat, we picked up a really good buck, and he was pushing 100 inches.
You see come down the top of the mountain. You see this there's rocky ridge at the very top. Okay, keep coming. There's another bump, and if you keep coming, and you get to about halfway before it gets to the lowest point.
I was scouring the area, looking around him to make sure there wasn't any does or anything that would bust me when I try to get in close.
Right before you get to the next. Oh yeah, there's 3 bucks, man.
And we picked up another buck. There was an even bigger buck, and this buck was probably
right before you get to this other ridge.
115-ish, maybe even 120-inch buck. I mean, well, he was really, really wide, so it was kind of deceiving. I couldn't really make out his time length and so on and so forth from where we were at, because we were over 1,000 yards at that point. But I knew he was a big buck. We wasted a lot of time looking at back and forth between these 2 bucks and figuring out which one we wanted to go for. I came up with a game plan. I knew I could probably get at least 400 yards from him, if not closer. So Levi and I packed up our stuff. We left Gasper back with the binos and with the radio, and
583 right here. 583. Jump down here. Slide up here. Right here. Get across these trees so I can get a clear open shot.
we stalked in there and we got to about 400 yards, and I said, you know what, I can get closer.
Definitely get closer. It's further than I thought where I ranged. It's actually the rock pile to the left, not this one.
So we moved again, and we got to about 275, and we got all set up. We set up the cameras, set up the GoPro. Everything was just perfect. You know, we had everything in play, and I line them up for the shot. I go to rack in a bullet, And I have this Black Hawk pouch that's on the side of my stock that holds the extra bullet, earplugs, and stuff like that. It must have slid forward or something, because when I went to rack the bolt, the back of the bolt hit that, and I couldn't open it up all the way to actually get a bullet in. And I was fumbling with it, and I finally got it locked and loaded. I lined him back up, and I flick off the safety, and I go to squeeze the trigger.
It's very easy to overlook the minor and insignificant, but on the mountain, it's a game of inches. Every choice has meaning, and success is in the details. Don't overlook the little things, because they're often what matter most. Choose wisely. Tenzing. Go further, hunt longer.
I was fumbling with it, and I finally got it locked and loaded. I lined him back up, and I flick off the safety, and I go to squeeze the trigger, and the buck starts chasing a doe up the mountain. And I'm like, all this time, this buck has been sitting there, hadn't moved for 20 minutes, and I go to take a shot, and now he's chasing a doe. He ran up the hill, we try to give chase, and he was chasing these 4 does up the hill, and that other bigger buck that we decided not to go against saw the same does, and he came across the, he was probably only 150 yards away, 100 yards away from this buck, and they all went up and over the ridge at the highest point in the canyon right there, and he was too nice of a buck, and I didn't want to let him go. So Levi and I made the decision to go up after him, and hopefully that we could pick him up on the other side.
Well, spot up 2 awesome bucks. Both were pushing 100. I was just about to take a shot, and just like that, some does came. They spun around and started chasing these does. We went all the way up the hill. We were way down here. Seriously. And then they went way up here and crested over. So it's the last day. I'm going after them. Well, we had our opportunity. That's all I could ask for. It's kind of nerve-wracking here. We had them right here. We're literally right where we're standing right now. They were less than 200 yards across. They were standing there for a long time, milling around. We watched them from back there. I kept trying. They split up for a little bit, and then they came back together, and I was trying to figure out which one was the best to go after. And that little bit of delay of time. I mean, if I had 10 more seconds, I was having trouble loading the gun. For some reason, it was kind of hanging up. We were right down here. We were laying down at a perfect rest. I had them in the scope. They were right here. Some does went by, and they started following the does, and they went all the way up to that top saddle over there. And they crested over that saddle, and we went up after them just now. Try to see if we could pick them up on the other side, and it was an act of futility because never did see them again. But at least we know they're in that canyon, and we know how to get to that canyon. We're going to drive around and see if we could pick them up this evening.
Well, that evening we never were able to turn either one of those bucks back up. As a matter of fact, we didn't see any bucks in that canyon at all.
That middle one, he went landed.
We did manage to see a mountain lion, which is cool.
Yeah, he's chasing. See, he's chasing a deer.
I wish we would have been able to get it on film, but it happened so quick.
Wow, that was so awesome.
So the next morning, we decided we were going to leave after the morning hunt. We hunted back in that same canyon where we saw the lion, hoping that we could pick up those 2 bucks. Really, we never turned up anything worthwhile. So we head home that afternoon, with hopes to come back after Christmas. Well, it was 2 days after Christmas, and Gasper unfortunately couldn't make it.
So I gave my cousin Anthony and my cousin Joe a call, and they decided they were going to be able to come up for a day and a half and help me out and see if we could make this happen. They brought my nephew Sebastian with us. Levi and I packed up the truck with these guys, and we head down to see if we can make it happen. That morning, I decided let's hit that same canyon where we had seen those bucks, where I had started my Coues deer hunting experience. I had a good feeling about it. We got set up, and like within the first few minutes,
Showing these to you, okay?
Okay, you're talking about these boulders right here.
This big boulder.
Yes, I see it.
Okay, if you climb straight down from that,
Okay.
okay, right before you hit this yellow bottom,
Yes.
there's a bunch of Ocotillo. They're right there.
Okay.
I was looking at a deer, and my cousin Joe's like, I got a buck.
John, I got another one, John.
Where is he?
And Joe just ended up being on fire. I mean, every time he picked up his binoculars, he was seeing another deer.
Down, but he's beating the crap out of the bush.
It was crazy because every time I went to look at one, he was finding another one.
Just tell me in relationship to the other one. Who's the other one?
The deer were just moving everywhere. It finally felt like the rut had kicked in. Well, we had this group of about 4 bucks that were kind of all in the same area, and they were interacting with each
They're
other.
fighting. You see him? Oh, yeah. Awesome. Oh,
We were just trying to make a decision which buck we were going to shoot. There was one in there that was in the 90s. They were just moving around so much that we couldn't keep track of which one was which. Well, Levi and I decided that we were going to try to get a little bit closer, and 1, so we could get better film, and 2, so we could get a more clean shot. While we were making our moves, Joe had radioed down to me that the bigger buck had bedded down, and the other 2 fed off. So we decided to make a play for the bedded buck.
Oh, I got him.
We got in there. We were probably within 400 yards. We got set up, lined them up for the shot, got all our cameras ready and ready to go.
Often people say to me, "Oh, you TV guys have it easy." All I can do is smile. Not many people know what goes into doing what I do. It's a lot of hard work on and off season. I spend countless hours training, preparing, and studying my sport. So I don't like leaving anything to chance. That's why I surround myself with the best companies and tools, like my Chevy Silverado. Whether I'm training for a hunt, scouting, or getting back into the deep country to chase the big boys, it's with me every step of the way. I'm John Stallone, professional hunter, and Chevy Silverado is my truck. And my home dealer is Van Chevrolet.
We got in there, we got set up, got all our cameras ready and ready to go, lined them up for the shot, and
Done. Done.
boom, it was lights out.
I need that frame pack so we can pack them off the mountain.
So what was really cool about the whole situation is I got to take my nephew Sebastian with us on the stalk so he could, experience it for his first time. We had a down deer. He got to watch me take the deer, and now we were going to go up and look for him.
Yeah, check this out. Yeah, that's a cool buck. He's not going to score a whole bunch, but he's definitely cool. But you see all this green stuff? Mm-hmm. That's because he was rubbing his antlers on
on the Ocotillos. And you know, sometimes it happens that way. But the whole experience of doing that with my family, doing that with my nephew as his first hunt was better than any other trophy I can imagine. Instead of getting greedy here. And you know, he's a decent buck. I don't know what he'll score, but he's heavy. He's definitely an older buck. He was fighting with one of the other bucks this morning, and it's kind of cool to watch. I'm happy with him. He's definitely not my biggest deer, or my biggest Coues deer, but he's certainly a nice buck, and I'm happy with him. And like I said, this is pretty much the last chance I get to hunt. So, and I got to share it with my nephew. It's his first time ever going hunting. How'd you like that?
It was so much fun.
That's cool, huh?
Mm-hmm.
He was trying to show his dominance. See all this waxy stuff up here?
Yeah.
What he does is he takes his back hind leg, and it's got a tarsal gland here, and he rubs it on here, and then he rubs it on the tree, and that's how they communicate with scent. Cool. Yeah, it's pretty cool stuff, huh? Well, now we got to get him cleaned up and get him off this mountain.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for joining us this week, and we'll see you out in the field. I guess your dad didn't tell you rule number 1. You know what rule number 1 is? Don't kick cholla cactus, or any cactus for that matter.